What's up, everybody? We got a different scenery today. We're in a nice little park somewhere. Might get some rain. I don't know. Um, got a couple of mosquitoes out. It's that time of year in Arkansas. Mosquitoes will definitely come looking for you if you're outside. So, don't do too many videos outside. Thought this one would be pretty cool. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of pockets of silence. Pockets of silence. My name is Eric Wayne Wade. I meet with men just like you every week to break the silence, unmask, and embrace vulnerability to rise into the men we were created to be. We don't get a whole lot of silence. I know I don't get as much time as I would like to just come out in places like this, to either walk around or just sit, listen to nature. Sometimes you get some birds. Sometimes you get cars driving by. You get people walking, kids playing, people mowing their yard. But finding pockets of silence or mapping out moments of your day intentionally to have those moments where there's no external noise. It's important. It's very important. If you stop and think about moments in your life where you had a great idea, or you made a very important decision. You had clarity. You had a moment where things just made perfect sense in a certain situation for you to go in a particular direction. That probably wasn't in the middle of a moment when you were binge watching a show on Netflix or scrolling through your phone on Reels or TikTok. It probably wasn't while you were uh, playing a video game. It was probably at a point in time where you were by yourself. You might have been on a long drive. Maybe you woke up early. That's me. I wake up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and thoughts just come. I come up with ideas on things to do with either my sales team that day or something that I've been trying to find a good approach on at work. Maybe in different conversations that I know I need to have with people, and I'm just not sure how to get through in a way that I really need to. Um, those moments usually bring me solutions and ideas. Building Mountain Men, so much of Mountain Men was built between the 3 and 4 o'clock hour. Um, yeah, and I wake up and I don't even try to go back to sleep at that point. It's like I'm if I try to go back to sleep, it creates stress, and I just decide to, you know what, I'm awake, so let's take advantage of this time. I know that historically, this has been a productive time for me, and I know silence doesn't necessarily seem like productivity, but it is. It's a, a method, a tool, an exercise, an appointment you can make with yourself, and you can count on it being a productive time. Going on a long drive, a long walk. Um, some ideas might come to you when you're in the shower. But when you pick up your phone the first 15 minutes of the day and you're scrolling, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity to find solutions, to find a resolution to a situation you might be in the middle of. Sometimes men avoid silence. I can remember a time in my life when I was avoiding silence. I could not, I couldn't deal with silence. I was always either listening to music, or I was listening to something on YouTube, and I could not find any comfort in silence, because what happens in those moments of silence is you often have a mirror that's facing you directly. And if we as men are not comfortable with what that mirror shows us, it's likely we are going to avoid silence. In that time in my life, I was definitely not happy with what the mirror was showing me. And so I couldn't sit in silence. I was miserable with the person that I was. I knew that I was in the middle of things I had no business to be in the middle of. I didn't need clarity, really. I knew right from wrong. I knew that I was doing wrong. And I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to deal with it. And if anytime I sat in silence, I was forced to deal with it. So I didn't sit in silence. I couldn't. And so we do that as men. When we don't want to see the mirror, when we are avoiding a stress that we know we need to handle or take care of, a task, a role, a responsibility, something at work, something about ourselves that we know is going on, and we don't want to deal with it. So we numb out. We pick up the phone, we scroll, we watch shows, we binge watch shows. For those of you that game, you might play games. We can think of all kinds of things that we do as men that keep us from facing that mirror. Anything to bring the external noise up and keep the internal noise down, we do it. So we might avoid long walks. We might avoid sitting by the fire in silence. We might avoid long drives, going fishing by ourselves, floating down a river on a solo trip. These are things that you might avoid when you don't want to really face or be real with what you might have going on. So, man, I have found so much joy and so much clarity, so much peace in being intentional about my moments, my time in silence. Whether it's those moments when I wake up at 3, or when I come home from the gym. That's usually when I have my meditation. It might be as little as 20 minutes. It might go as long as an hour. I've had moments of silence that last longer than that. And there's no study that shows this amount of time is what you need to shut down the external noise and start activating your brain and your nervous system being reset. These mosquitoes are starting to pick up, y'all. They're starting to pick up. There's not a set amount of time. Maybe after 5 minutes, like your nervous system might start to reset a little bit, and then maybe after 15 minutes, you start to get some clarity, and then maybe after 30 minutes, now you're starting to enter the realm of possible, meditative states, and um, have some profound thoughts. And then you get to an hour, and it's like that's transformation. That's transformation mode. You do that daily. You hit 20 minutes daily, and if you can have like once a week, where you have a good hour to yourself, you start to do that and tell me that things don't start to line up in your life, that you don't start coming up with ideas, that you don't start figuring out solutions to problems that you just haven't been able to figure out before. So it's important to not isolate, but it's equally as important, if not more important, to be intentional about finding moments of silence. Yeshua was intentional about getting up in the wee hours of the morning and going off by himself and having those moments of silence. Um, any great leader that you research or you look up to, go check it out. Find out what they found out about moments of silence and being intentional. I know Tesla. There's research on how he was very intentional about before he went to bed, and what he did before he went to bed to make sure his brain was at the optimum state that it needed to be in order for him to have the ideas that he relied on for his success, his inventions. Um, those are just two examples. The list is endless, and I would encourage you to do your research on people that take moments of silence very seriously and why they do, and then do your research yourself. Do some tests and experimenting on having your own moments of silence. So how do you get practical with this? I would encourage you for a week, maybe the first 15 minutes of the day, when you wake up, don't touch your phone. I would also encourage you, if you drive to work, to take that drive without any noise, no music, no podcasts, for a week. I would also encourage you during your workout, if you go to the gym. That's a tough one for me. I listen to podcasts in the gym. I can drive in silence, no problem. Um, I like to have a podcast. Occasionally I'll play music in the gym, but I like to have a podcast on when I'm in the gym. So I would encourage you to try that for a week. Do your workout without anything in your ears. So first 15 minutes of the day, no phone, no screens. Embrace those minutes in silence before you get up, or if you want to get up and go to a different location by yourself. No external noise for your first 15 minutes that you're awake. If you commute to work, do it without music, without podcasts. And if you go to the gym or work out or walk, try doing that without any external noise. No music, no podcasts, no audiobooks. And I would love to hear, after 1 week of doing that, what is something that you were able to accomplish, or something that you found clarity in that you have yet to find clarity in up to that point. It's fun. It's fun to see the progress, and then you're encouraged and motivated to continue down that path. So I encourage you to do that. you start to see the progress, you get excited, and for me it becomes fun. I enjoy being intentional about the moments of time that I have, whether it's meditation, uh, breath work. Oh, that's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear about how the progress is for you. And yeah, tell me what you cut out. Tell me what you changed. If you did all three of them, no phone or no screen in the first 15 minutes of you being awake, commute without any music or podcast, nothing external, and then work out or exercise with no music or podcast. If you did any of them, or you hear the helicopter coming after me. If you did any of them, if you did all of them, I'd love to hear how that's working for you. So um, that's really all I have for this week. I wanted to talk about the importance of silence, and if you're not finding pockets of time to have no external noise like helicopters, um, to find moments to do that because it's important. It's one of those things that has really helped me. A lot of things have just made sense. I've gained clarity on. There's things that I've just not even intentionally um, removed from my life. Not even, like I said, not even intentionally, but when you start to face the things, face the mirror that you avoid facing, then things happen. Powerful things happen. Think about our ancestors. Man, they would sit by a fire for hours. They would listen to the running waters for hours, listen to the birds. They didn't have screens, they didn't have Netflix, they didn't have video games. And they were dealing with some stuff, but they also came up with some pretty awesome solutions with what they were dealing with. I mean, hunting, and they made traps. They thought these traps out in their head. When do you think they thought of it? Not while they were scrolling on a phone. No, while in their moments of silence. Think about the ideas that you can come up with in your moments of silence. Maybe that new business idea, maybe that new project at work, maybe a new approach to a conversation with a coworker, a family member. If you're a parent, that conversation that you need to have with your teenager, you're just not sure how to approach it to get through. Maybe that's not you. Maybe it is you. Moments of silence can help you get to that conversation a lot quicker and make that conversation more productive. Maybe it's a conversation you need to have with your spouse. Um, Maybe it's whatever it is. Stop avoiding it. Stop being afraid of that mirror that comes up when you have silent moments. Because when you start to face it, you start to get more comfortable with it and you start to trust it. You start to look forward to having those moments of silence because you know how powerful um, it's been implementing those moments of silence in your life. So, hope you found this useful. If you did, like it, share it with somebody. If you haven't already subscribed, I notice a lot of you watch these videos and you haven't subscribed. Hit that subscription and get updated every time I post something because it can be very helpful to you. It can be one of those things that you turn on externally in the background when you don't want to face that mirror from silent moments. All right, well that's all I have for you guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.